Hey everyone, welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to be working on the Nissan 300ZX and we're going to be electrifying the brakes. If you're new to the channel, we are taking this Nissan 300ZX and converting it to electric. It's going to have a Tesla motor and about 600 horsepower. Last time we were diving into the Nissan 300ZX, we were doing a lot of scanning. So scanning is a new process in our workflow. We want to create good, accurate scans so we can get some good designs going. So this time what we're doing is we're taking those scans, implementing designs on the electric braking system. Let's get to it. For today's sponsor, we have the 70mi dash cam. This is the A510 set. This has got paperwork and some car mounting things. This is the front camera, and then this is the rear camera. All right, this is the main cable for power. It's the adapter. This will be the rear cable. All right, so let's get to installing. While I am unpacking and installing this dash cam, let me tell you a little bit about some of the features. This has the Sony Starvis 2 IMX675 sensor. This offers 1944p full HDR resolution. It has dual channel recording, so both front camera and rear camera. It has a one-tap app connect, along with 4G connectivity. This also comes with the 70mi night owl vision. This is an exclusive technology that produces night image with higher clarity, lower noise, balanced exposure, and better gain control. All right, we just got done wiring it. Here's the back camera, the rear-facing camera. So now it's time to turn it on and check it out. All right, so we've got this up and working. Now you can see the front-facing camera as well as the rear-facing camera. So now we'll show you the app. All right, and here it is on the app. You can switch cameras, go into all the settings. Again, it's got pretty much everything you'd want. Video settings, a lot more stuff than I'd probably use, but it's got, it's very feature rich. As you can see from the footage, it provides really clear images, allows you to get all the detail that you would need in any sort of driving conditions. So if you're interested in a product like this, I'll leave a link in the description below. The Bosch iBooster, we're trying to figure out how best to use that, if we're going to use the Tesla brake pedal or just the original Nissan brake pedal. And I think we're leaning towards the original Nissan. This one just has a lot going up here higher, so I think we're going to stick with the Nissan one. This one though, got to figure out how to make this adapt to the firewall. The holes don't match with the firewall, so we're going to have to cut it out, and then we'll do like a bracket or mounting plate to attach it to the firewall. You can see there where I marked out, that's essentially where it will be. And so my plan is just to cut out that whole area so that we can put the iBooster there, and we'll probably put a plate, bolt it from the inside just around to the firewall. That will secure the iBooster to the firewall, and we can make the brake pedal work with that. I'm going to go ahead and cut in the firewall. So that section needs to come out so the brake booster can go in. We've already got scans so we can make a bracket to hold the new brake booster, so this one just needs to be cut out. We got that hole knocked out, so the iBooster fits in there just nice. We're making a bracket that's going to go on the inside of the car and fasten to the firewall as well as the iBooster. But yeah, this is looking really good. And just like it showed in the scan, there's just a little bit of room here, so I think we're good. All right, so a couple things we need to do. One is we need to make a bracket that mounts the firewall. So we've designed and 3D printed that, and it seems like it's gonna work out pretty good. So what I need is I need some fasten points. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill and mount some rib nuts or nut certs. And we'll mount those to the firewall, and the new bracket can be mounted to the firewall. So there, the bracket is in place. I think these bolt holes are just a little outboard of where we want them. So like firewall kind of has this bulge that comes out kind of towards us, and then it kind of curves back in. Like this is maybe a little too close to that curve. I think the other side's fine. So I'm gonna mark this with Sharpie and kind of see how much I want to adjust it. So here is a mark that's fine. This mark, oh dear, it's like really high, but basically there's kind of two panes of metal, so that's kind of right at a spot where they meet. So I think I'd prefer to go a little lower or a little higher. And then on this side, this is kind of a ridge I was telling you about. So I think I want it like right on the ridge. So this mark here is kind of where it was. So we want to inboard just a little bit. And then I think the top ones, yeah, we just need to bring down. So I will make some adjustments and print another bracket. All right, this is a bracket, the temp number 2. We'll likely have to do this at least 1 or 2 more times. So we had to make a slot here because the mount area to mount is kind of narrow. So I had to make a little slot here to allow for things there. The other side looks good though. And then I think this plane just needs to be closer to the wall. But other than that, I think we're good to go. So we'll redesign, print one more time, and I think we'll be ready to get a part from Send Cut Send. All right, here is the next revision of the bracket. So we got this little cutout so that this one can come out a little bit. Yeah, so we've kind of marked inside here with a marker so we can figure out where we need to put fasten points. But I think this is about got it. I think this is looking pretty good. So I've tried one more, and this is just a flat plate, and I think that might work as well. The reason why we kind of had it come, I'll say, away from the firewall is we thought we needed a little more room in the engine bay, and I think this one we still have enough room. So flat plate's going to be the best, easiest, cheapest. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark and drill holes. All right, I drilled holes through the firewall. Got some fasteners in place just temporarily. Here's what it looks like on the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the iBooster in, fasten everything down, just make sure we got clearance, everything looks good, spacing, height, placement, everything. Okay, let's go fasten it. There's my prototype bracket, and it is fastened to the firewall, and the brake master cylinder, the iBooster, is fastened to it. So this all looks great from the side. And this is what it looks like on this side. So again, we got clearance and everything, able to assemble it. So yeah, I think that'll work great. So my last question is if I can use some of the rib nuts, because it's not ideal to have to hold a fastener on one side and get in the car to fasten it on the other. However, let's see if I can show you. So I don't know how well you can see, but there is, I'll call it 2 walls on the firewall. So there's kind of like an inner wall, and then there's a little space with foam or something, and then another wall. So I'm just not sure if the rib nut will do well with that. I think I will try one, and if it works, then I'll do it for all of them. If not, we'll drill it back out. All right, we are replacing our 3D printed part with this aluminum part, and that's gonna go in here to mount our brake master cylinder. All right, this side is now in place. So we'll go ahead and get the brake master cylinder. All right, I'm starting to tape off there where I need to fill. Basically, there's a flat plate, and then the firewall has some ups and downs. So I just need to fill it. I'm gonna use some automotive sealant. We'll get it all taken care of. All right, we'll get a paper towel and clean this up a little bit, but that should give us a good seal. Other thing we need to do, so the brake lines there are 3/16. So the ones that came with the Tesla are 1/4. So basically I just need to make some new brake lines as well as some adapter fittings that go from the 1/4 to the 3/16. So I'll order some hardware, order the bracket. For me, it'll take a week or 2. For you guys, it'll just take a few seconds. So this is the best I could come up with, but this is a union that will work with the current brake line. I then have an adapter. So then this one is able to go to the larger brake line. So I just need a small section of the brake line, and it'll go like that from there to there. That's pretty good. Sweet. All right, these are kind of our, I'll call it our adapter lines. So this side goes to the brake master cylinder. This side Goes like this, and then this one will attach to the car. So short little one, we'll go put them in the car. All right, so we've got these lines. I'm gonna put a little bend in it just so the brake master cylinder, when it comes out, it's just not coming out 6 inches. It'll kind of bend back towards the firewall. So we'll see if I can bend everything. Otherwise, we'll have to cut and flare. All right, just got all this done. It reminds me though, I need to check to make sure which one's front and back. I don't wanna accidentally mix those up. But yeah, once we figure that out, we'll go ahead and tighten things and that will be done. Took the wheel off because I wanted to make sure that we had the front brake line identified, because when I took these off, I don't know that I was careful to know which one's which, and did some bending, so just want to confirm. But yeah, the one closest to the firewall is the front. We kind of confirm that. So these are all ready. I'm not going to tighten it just yet. And we got a few more things to do with the brake pedal. The plan for the brake pedal, these holes were for the original brake booster, and this piece right here is kind of spot welded on a couple places, like 2 there, and anyways. So the thought is we're gonna drill out those welds, and we've got a new bracket essentially we're gonna weld on, and the holes are in the place that will support the new booster. So we'll go ahead and drill these out, get that in order, weld it back in place. All right, we've got this back plate off now. The other thing I'm gonna do before we do welding and stuff is I gotta clean up all this rust, then probably put a coat of paint on. All right, so we're able to get a lot of this, kind of these inside corners as well as like on the inside of this. We're gonna have to just get by hand. All right, quick check of this one, just like that. So we'll do a weld mostly on the outside, but we can also weld right here on the inside. And then it's got the right hole spacing, can use the same bracket. I have it tacked in a couple places, front and back. I'm really tempted just to run a full weld there, but I'm gonna go ahead and fit it in the car, make sure we like everything before we do that. All right, so test fitting, this piece kind of jogs up. We need it to stay flat, so I need to cut this off. We'll test fit it again, and then we'll weld on a new piece. We are installed. Everything looks good. It's tight. Got a nice pedal feel. Got everything kind of hooked to the linkage and everything. I am planning to replace this brake pedal with the one that matches. So I'll probably chop that off and weld it. I just got to make sure that we like all the positions. So I'll kind of measure one more time and then we'll make the cut and weld. This is how we're looking on this side. It looks good. One thing we have to do to the brake pedal here, the iBooster has its own, I'll call it internal resistance, meaning the Tesla brake pedal doesn't have a spring. This one has a spring in it. So we're essentially getting double resistance. We just need to take this bolt out, get the spring out. Just worrying it's gonna spring weirdly. Okay, we're okay. There we go. So I just gotta get this big guy out of there. There we go. We're ready to go. I put the pedal back in the car. This is again after I've cut off the actual pedal part, and I'm going to actually put this one on where I think it should go. Probably just do some hot glue or something temporary just so I can get a good mark, and then we'll take it out and weld it. So the hot glue was not strong enough to hold, so we're just gonna do some epoxy. All right, we've got the pedal. It's been secured in place just with some epoxy. So now we'll take it out of the car, get it welded up. So this is the pedal that came with the Nissan. And as you can see, the attachment point's like clear on the side. And they've got this kind of member that comes across to help kind of give it some more support. As you can see with the new pedal here, that's kind of the desired placement. So we're gonna make a support similar that goes across this way as well. All right, I have things tacked in just a couple places. I'm gonna scrape off the epoxy, make sure I've got some nice welding surfaces, and then do fold welds. We're gonna see if my strategy worked. I didn't want things to get too hot because it's got rubber and some other things. I didn't want the pedal to discolor. So kind of there's a trough around there that I kept filling up with water. Again, not on the weld, but just kind of around to try and keep everything else cool. So we're gonna flip it over, see how it looks. All right, there's the finished product. It's all welded. What I'm gonna do, I've got to finish welding up here as well. And then once I finish welding, I will give it a coat of paint. For the iBooster, there's a few wires we need to get and splice. When I got the unit, the wires were just cut off. I just need to splice onto them so we can get this thing powered up. Quick work with the multimeter. So basically the big red one is a 40 amp fuse, that's ground. This one is a 5 amp fuse. Again, these are always on. And then this red one is a keyed 5 amp circuit. So we'll go ahead and splice wires and get this thing ready to go. All right, so these wires here that we're not gonna use, I'm gonna go ahead and terminate just so they don't get or give any voltage that might mess things up. So we can get some things tested. I'm just gonna put some fuses here and even some wire nuts. This is definitely not what I would recommend long-term, but I just wanna make sure that we've got a system that's working. All right, I got my temporary leads, if you will. I'm gonna put them on the battery, but first I'm going to connect the brake lines and bleed the brakes. So I think we're all tight. We're gonna hook things up and see if it makes the pedal easier to push. So this is the constant, and then this is the 12-volt switched. I heard it. So we'll go inside and see if we can see the difference. Pay no attention to the accelerator. That's gonna be in a different episode. So for here, we're just doing the brakes. I wanna see if I can tell the difference and also if I can hear anything. Oh my gosh, that is so easy. Oh, that is amazing. I'm gonna turn it off and just show you, but like, I can do like one pinky, like super easy. Oh man, that is great. All right, I just unplugged it. So now, yeah, oh my gosh. So yeah, definitely no way to, 2 fingers. I can do it like, if I kind of lean on it with my hand, but yeah, there's like no way to do it with one hand or one finger. So yeah, that's a big assist. So that is so cool. I love getting this technology and getting it to work. It is very fulfilling. So we've got power brakes now on the Nissan 300ZX. We got a ton done. So we went from nothing to removing the brake master cylinder, brake booster, bleeding brakes, creating a brake mount for essentially the master cylinder as well as the pedal, reconfiguring the pedal, doing welding, coating, rebleeding the brakes, and then finally wiring and testing it out. And it is great. That is a lot of work. Really excited. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Love, do I have crap on my face? Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Man, why am I so dirty? Guess that shows I do it myself. What am I putting on? Why do I struggle?